What? Are you doing season 2 of that stupid show?
Honey, where are you going?
Where are you going?
Again? Just where are you going?
Where are you going? You're not going to the bar again, are you?
You like hanging out, drinking beer at the bar, talking sports? Come on out and join us weekly. Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, your podcast for just that. Hanging out, drinking some beer, talking sports.
Welcome to Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, where a bunch of guys get together over beers, cocktails, and gals at a bar to talk sports because there's not a better place to get your sports news and commentary than from a bunch of armchair pundits who are drinking at the bar. Isn't that right?
So true.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I think it's a lie.
ESPN should probably have all their commentators at the bar talking sports, right?
They'd be a lot more interesting.
I think they're just sitting there drinking anyway.
They might be.
I think we're ahead of the game, though. I think that at least we're being open about it.
They haven't been busted yet.
They got their little shot glasses behind their little tables and stuff, you know?
That's not water in those mugs.
That's not water in those mugs, that's true. Bloody Marys in the mugs, right? So, college football starting up this weekend. You got week 0 going on.
Yep.
Nothing too exciting for the games, I don't think. But there is one game that is notable. Nebraska, Illinois, yeah.
Big Ten, baby. Big Ten.
Who is that notable to?
Well, it's notable to the Big Ten because Nebraska, this has to be their season to do something, or else Scott Frost is gone.
Okay, I was just checking.
Chris, you're always dissing on the Big Ten.
You know, I love the Big Ten. I love the Big Ten. How many teams are in the Big Ten?
There's like 8, right? How many teams are in the Big Ten? There's more than 8. I'm just kidding. So let's go around the horn though for our audience, because if it's your first time listening, we are just guys that hang around at the bar and talk sports, and gals. And so if you hear some sound in the background, that's because we're really at a bar talking sports. And the first person we got to my left is the Chief.
Hey, how y'all doing this evening?
What are you drinking, Chief?
I'm drinking the same drink I've been drinking for 2 years, ginger and lime.
It never stops.
I just added ice and I pulled it out of the refrigerator at the bar.
I just fell asleep. Switch your drink up.
Yeah.
We also have the Ripper himself. What are you drinking, Ripper?
Tonight I've got no Seki Lager tonight.
All right, do you put a lime in that or what?
Yeah, I normally do, but I think maybe they're out tonight. I don't know. So. No, I have all the limes in my drink. There you go.
Now, are you typically a Dos Equis drinker? I don't remember you drinking that last time.
I like to mix it up, but I do enjoy a nice cold Dos Equis Lager. I even like the Amber. Amber's pretty good too.
The Amber's pretty good as well, yeah. We do get paid by these beer companies, by the way, you know. So.
Stay thirsty, my friends.
So a returning guest who is going to become a regular on this show, we're getting her under contract right now as we speak, and that is Cheeks. What you drinking, Cheeks?
I decided to really mix it up, and I went with wine this week.
Wine?
Yeah.
What kind of wine? Because there's a lot of different kinds.
When are we going to Florida?
I'm drinking a Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh, very
Because it's
sophisticated.
freaking 90-some million degrees out right now, so
A good white wine goes well.
yeah.
Especially when it's warm out. And for some reason, this summer, I mean, I know it's August still, but God, it's just dragging.
Yeah, it is.
It is dragging.
I'm
So,
ready for some cool weather.
Chopper! Chopper's here. What are you drinking, Chopper?
So, I disagree with the heat thing. I think it was like 89 today. And so it's starting to cool down.
It was hot.
And so I have gone into fall mode, and I'm drinking the Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
Well, okay, that's good stuff, too.
I had that last week. That's good.
Fantastic choice.
Now, someone suggested earlier that we're going to start Oktoberfest now. Is that what we're doing? We're starting Oktoberfest now.
I started it today.
You did last week.
We're starting Oktoberfest now, and you can stop whenever they tell us to stop. We're not stopping until then. This is your boy Hanger, and I am drinking the gigantic Bud Light that I always drink. Very good stuff. So,
It is gigantic
because you could probably float a small kayak in there.
It's pretty big.
Or a paddleboard.
Yeah.
Or you can make a child in it.
Or we could have the guys at the bar talking sports diving championships.
Yeah.
In my beer. Please, I don't need Chopper and his stuff in my beer, if you know what I mean. So hey, I'll take that.
I think he's offended.
It might be.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I did take a sip of your beer earlier. I had to buy him a beer because I took a big old swig of it, and I was like, "That is not Bud Light." So
Half my beer.
So you want to know the rest of these college football games this weekend?
There's more?
there's
Tell us
okay.
more.
So I know that there's like 4 or 5 more, if that. But Nebraska and Illinois is like the
That's a Big Ten game. It's going to be good football.
Who's gonna win?
I don't know. Let's go to our Big Ten expert here.
All right, well, I'm going to
Pittsburgh is
say...
our Big Ten expert, by the way.
Yeah. So don't know much about either of these teams right now, saying it's the first game of the season. But I do think that Nebraska is going to go ahead and take the win here. It is Illinois' first game with their new head coach. Probably going to take them a little bit to get his system in place. So I like Nebraska in week 1 or week 0 against Illinois.
I'm thinking Nebraska's going to win also.
I am too. Illinois is not usually a strong.
Where's the game played?
It's at Illinois.
At Illinois. What's the line?
I don't know what the line is.
So I'm thinking.
3 beers. Line's 3 beers.
So last season, Illinois was pretty good. The year before that, they were pretty good as well. So I think that there's going to be a good fight going on. But I mean, Scott Frost has to perform this year. Absolutely has to. So I'm going with them. Who are you going with, Cheeks?
I like your point. I'm going with the home team.
The home team.
I am. Illinois, as you said.
Did I say Illinois?
I like it.
See, I'm from Connecticut. Maybe that's how we say it there. If you're from Connecticut and you're listening to this show, let me know if that's true. Because I'm probably just making that up.
Perfect segue. Connecticut's playing.
Go with
this
it.
weekend.
Connecticut is playing this weekend. See
Yeah,
that? Is it UConn?
Yeah, it's UConn against Fresno.
Okay, UConn has the worst football team that didn't even play last season, so I can't imagine.
Fresno, that sounds like a.
They might not show up because they might not find Fresno. Hey, does anybody know where we're headed west? Where's Fresno?
Isn't it somewhere in New Mexico?
California.
Oh, see, yeah.
It's the middle part of the state, but not the
Guys
big
in the
middle
bar
part where the
talking
people
geography.
are.
All right, but
Cheeks knows this because she's from California.
a little bit south of there, Hawaii's playing UCLA.
Know who
At
failed
UCLA
geography
this
class?
UCLA? Okay, so Hawaii's
Hawaii at
playing.
UCLA.
I bet those UCLA students really wanted to go out to Hawaii for the game.
UTEP is at New Mexico State, and those two are only about 25 miles apart. UTEP, University of Texas, El Paso.
I don't think anyone knows who those teams are.
Hey, I took classes at UTEP when I was stationed out there.
I can guarantee you none of our fans have any clue about those.
Hey, go Miners.
I know what it is.
Go Miners.
And there's more? Are you saying there's more games?
Yeah, one more there, and this one I had to put it in parentheses.
Because you're like, who is that?
I was like, who is SUU? SUU, you saw, guess? Guess? Southern? Boom! Utah.
Southern Utah
University.
It's actually a community college full of it's actually in the same city that all of the polygamous Mormons are at.
This is also the only podcast ever to talk about SUU.
Yes.
We are the only we're breaking new ground here,
They
people.
might send us a T-shirt to wear. You know,
That'd
we
be
talk
awesome.
I'm actually going to put that as a
Trendsetting.
hashtag in this profile. Hashtag SUU.
That selection of games is like your drinks, Chief.
Yep.
Boring.
I didn't make the schedule. I'm just reporting on it.
That's why. So when I said let's talk week 0 football,
You said week, W-E-A-K.
you want? Oh, did I say? Okay, no, I put week W-E-E-K. Come on. I said this is my notes. Not much to talk about. But is Scott Frost's last-ditch effort to remain as the national championship hero of Nebraska. And that's it, because there's nothing else to talk about with week 0 football.
Nebraska football was over in '96.
I think if he can win 7 games, he'll keep his
Didn't they win a
spot.
championship in
7 games is kind of what he's looking for.
Yep.
I might be wrong about that.
Nebraska football was over in '96.
So SUU is playing San Jose State. That's also in California. So the West Coast has a lot of games, and UTEP and MSU is pretty far west, 7 hours from LA. So
Okay.
Have you ever been to a game on the West Coast?
yeah,
It's a little bit different.
Rose Bowl. I went and saw the Rose Bowl once.
Yeah. And even the Rose Bowl is different.
Their idea of tailgating is reservations at a restaurant down the block.
Totally different. Totally different.
I think
Totally
I've been to
different.
that.
It's totally different.
It's always a good restaurant.
The South
It's
has,
a good restaurant, yeah.
Always.
the South has good tailgating traditions. I know that. I'm sure they have great tailgating traditions in the Big Ten as well.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
I had no idea what it was like until I moved here. I was like, wow, this is a tailgate?
Yeah, it's
We
great.
got catered.
It's like it's what you do on the weekend during football
Yeah.
season. Hello. And then you get ready for the next on Sunday. You just have a hangover all day.
And then you watch the NFL.
Well, that's why you drink beer during the NFL, to get over the hangover.
Right.
Speaking of NFL, great transition there, my man.
Oh.
Holy cow! You're taking notes from Brookie DC.
He told me to fill in today.
Yeah, he is the transitioner. So I wanted to talk about notable draft picks in 2021 and how they're doing. So I got some stats for you, and I'll let y'all comment, okay? Mac Jones. Rookie DC said by week 5 he is going to be the quarterback of the Patriots over Cam Newton.
Or sooner.
Dude, that's a lie. That's a lie.
Jones went 13 for 19 and went 13 out of 19, 146 yards throwing in the last game.
Against the Eagles
Almost
last
70%, 68%.
Cam Newton shows up when he needs to show up.
Well, like,
Cam Newton can't show up right now.
previous game,
Yeah.
previous game, Cam went 8 for 9 for 103 yards. So he higher completion percentage. Didn't get the ball.
So he
moving far.
is not going to allow that to happen.
He can't show up. I mean, he's got like 7 more days because of a misunderstanding.
And I'm sorry, but stats
get the
really don't
vaccine,
mean
Cam.
anything. These are preseason stats. They don't mean anything.
Can you handle the pressure?
So is Brookie DC's prediction going to become true then? By week 5, Mac Jones is the quarterback for Patriots.
If Cam is injured.
I completely disagree with that.
Chopper says he disagrees. I generally do too.
I think Cam stays the whole season if he's healthy,
I
honestly.
think Cam is going to fall over trying to get one of his silly outfits on. He's going to get injured, and then it's going to be Mac
Those
Jones.
are great outfits.
He's a fashion icon, really, in the
But
NFL.
so, speaking about for season, Travis Etienne is out for the season for the Jags.
That's sad. I feel really bad for that guy too. He didn't even make it onto the roster essentially. So that sucks.
Liz Frank injury.
Huh?
Liz Frank injury. It's like a bad sprain in the middle of your foot.
It was his foot, right? Yeah. Okay. That stinks. So speaking of the Jacksonville Jaguars, then we have Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
So that's a notable. This is him, ready? And Ross, he is officially
The starter.
the starter for the Jacksonville Jaguars now.
Despite going 14 for 23.
Exactly. So 60% completion rate, and who he was going against, Minshew, was 62% though. So do you go with the old guy, the new guy? Who's going to be the one that's going to develop better? Is what I'm thinking.
Who's going to put butts in seats for a team that has not put butts in seats? That's what
Tebow.
I'm thinking.
Well, I'll go one more on that. And I don't think Gardner Minshew is going to be on the team in 2 weeks.
You don't think they're going to keep him as a backup at least?
No, I think that he's going to get released or traded to a team that needs a good backup. And C.J. Beathard has probably been the best quarterback out of the 3 of them for Jacksonville in this preseason. So I think just to kind of sever those relationships, get a clean cut. That way, Trevor's not looking over his shoulder, and he can focus on learning the system and learning the speed and the game of the NFL. I think we're going to see Gardner Minshew go somewhere else.
Where would he go? Any ideas?
I have no ideas at this moment, but I don't see him
Saints?
sticking around Jacksonville. No. I think the Saints are
I
pretty
think
well set.
Winston is making a name for himself now.
I expect
He
big
had a
things
good
for him.
game. Yeah, he had a good game last week.
Okay.
I would not put him on the back seat.
Sean Payton.
Don't put baby in the corner.
Falcons?
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Falcons.
So they
God.
they signed Josh Rosen as their quarterback, but the 49ers got cut. I know that.
Well, yeah,
Wait a minute. But they got Matt Ryan, and then they got A.J. Frank
That's a backup
Yeah.
signing.
as their backup. Those are their backup quarterbacks. And with A.J. McCarron out, that's Matt Ryan's pretty decent quarterback.
Matt Ryan's their starter. I mean, he threw for like 5,000
He is,
yards
but
last year.
Last year he was 4 for 12 when he started. 4 for 12.
That's pretty rough.
That's awful. That echoes his 2013 season. It's
Well,
horrible.
yeah, but it's not as bad as Kyler Murray, who's -1 in offensive yards so far.
That's pretty rough.
Again,
At Phoenix.
we're talking preseason
Yeah,
stats.
we're talking limited games, limited stats. Stats are always skewed.
Well, Matt Ryan,
Beginning of
4
the
for
season.
12 is real season.
Right, but
Back to Cam Newton has 109 yards, and Kyler Murray has -1 yard.
True, but a lot of these offenses are running a
Misleading.
complete offense.
Misleading.
They're just going out there to get people familiar, get people reps. This is more about conditioning and training and understanding the speed of the game than opening up your offense in the preseason because they don't want to tip their hand to their opponents.
All right, how about
Okay, good point.
How about Mitch Trubisky? Preseason, threw for 221 yards and was leading Buffalo 34 to. Was leading Buffalo. They were up 34-6 at the half. And by the way, he is the backup.
You'll never see a play.
Never
unless-
see a play. Josh Allen.
Probably the MVP this year.
Zach Wilson, number 2 draft pick from last season from BYU. Great quarterback at BYU. Did not beat the Coastal Carolina or whatever, but I think that was a last-minute game. They literally flew out there on a Friday or Saturday morning to play on Saturday night. Like, it was just insane the way that happened. They couldn't beat Coastal Carolina, but it was a close game. But this is him at the Jets. He has 2 wins at the Jets so far in preseason, which is okay. Last weekend against Green Bay, he was 9 for 11 with 128 yards, 82% passing completions.
Against Green Bay's second or third team.
Third team.
That's true.
His offensive coordinator Michael LaFleur is really impressed with him right now. But again, like Ripper said, it's still preseason. It's still early.
At least they got 2-0 in something.
So he has two quality, decent games. It's something to build on, right?
Yeah.
And that's about all you can say about it. You can't say he's going to be successful or not successful. He's got a good, solid start to go forward, in my opinion.
Yeah, Zach Wilson. He looks like he's about 12 years old, by the way. I mean, like blonde hair, and looks like he just stepped out of a middle school football team. But I think that he can go somewhere. People are making fun of him, saying that he's not. But I mean, of all of those quarterbacks that played last weekend and the weekend before, he has the best stats so far. Like I said, like you said, it is preseason ball. But the stats do help out in preseason ball.
Well, which bench are you playing against? You're playing against second string, third string. What's you playing against?
How about Indiana? They're 2-0 without Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Preseason, but still don't have their starting quarterback.
If Carson Wentz is healthy, he's going to start, period. If he's not ready to go by week 1, then they'll go with the backup.
Yeah.
He's their starter.
Final quarterback that got drafted that I want to talk about, Justin Fields from Ohio State. 9 for 19 and 80 yards passing, 47% completion with 0 touchdowns. Will he turn the corner? Ripper, will he turn the corner?
I'm not too sure about your stats. Was that just for a single game?
That was just for last week.
Okay, I was going to say, because he should have had a nice touchdown pass, had some good touchdown run as well. But for all of these rookie quarterbacks, as you come in, you're not ready to maintain that speed and skill that these seasoned veterans, have accomplished.
Yeah.
So there's a catch-up period. Very rarely, and I think you've heard it over the news, it's been like 13, 14 years or something since a quarterback drafted 1 overall won the season opener. David Carr was the last quarterback drafted number 1 overall to win the season opener. So expectations should be low, should be tempered, unless they find themselves in a situation where you're with a playoff contender and you're filling in for the man who happens to go down because of an injury. Outside of that, a lot of these high drafted quarterbacks are not in ideal situations to succeed right away. So I think realistically, you're looking at between 5 and 7 wins for any of these new quarterbacks is a realistic goal, and that should be considered success.
Trevor Lawrence, will he get 5 or 7 wins?
He might be 2-2 after the first month.
I'm just going to say 4. If he starts the whole entire season, I'm giving him 4.
And that's a win for him, honestly. They were 1-15.
Well, and they got to get the rest of the team together. That's just because they were banking on Etienne. They were banking on Trevor Lawrence.
You didn't say Tebow.
No, they weren't banking on Tebow. But my point is, just because you got one pair of guys who play together, you still need an O-line. You still need a defense.
I expect a lot of rushing game just to protect Trevor Lawrence, honestly.
Do they have the line to protect him at all?
No.
It'll just be the line and the running backs trying to protect him.
The good news, they play Houston in week 1, so.
That'll be a crap show. Sorry.
Oh, I didn't curse that
I
before.
know.
You beat me to it.
I know. I'm trying not to.
We got time left.
Hide the kids.
I don't want to put the parental advisory sticker on my show, okay? I'm trying not to.
Sure you don't.
Yeah.
So I got to shh out of it right now. So
Yeah.
we're not going to say it after that, okay?
Okay.
All right, well, speaking of parental advisories, Teddy Bridgewater had a really good game against Seahawks.
You got to watch out for Teddy Bridgewater, right?
Yeah, I think, the guy was great in college. At Louisville, he was super strong. He comes into the NFL, and he's had stops and starts, but I think now, what is he, 3rd season or 4th season in the NFL?
Oh, I think it's more than that.
He's like 2 or 3 seasons at the Panthers, right?
Yeah.
He has been with the Panthers. He started with Minnesota, then he went to the Saints before he went to the Panthers.
All right, so this is
he's
like
been moving around.
season 4 or 5.
Yeah, maybe.
But anyway, I think Bridgewater, he had a great game. He went 9 for 11, 105 yards. They won 30-3.
He's the backup.
No, he actually was
He's
just
the
named
starter.
Oh,
starter.
yeah, that's right. They just named him 2 days ago. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he'll be
Starter for Denver. I think that's going to be really good. And Big Ben is still playing. Pittsburgh's 3-0 in preseason. Again, not that preseason's everything, but a lot of teams are 0-2, and a lot of teams are 2-1 or 1-1. They're 3-0 in preseason.
But my theory was always, if you're in preseason, you're playing whatever you can, trying out whatever you can, and I think the winners of preseason are the losers in the regular season.
You think so? Yeah.
I do.
Well,
I'd like to see statistics on that to support me.
well, I've got one that goes
Send it
against
to the
that.
back room.
Send it to the back room. We all start looking at that really quick.
The Baltimore Ravens have won, I believe, 19 consecutive preseason games. And they've been in the top of the division for the Baltimore Ravens, 19 straight preseason games. So they're kind of an outlier, though.
No, but last week, we put them pretty high up on how well
I put him in the Super Bowl, so.
So, yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, last person on NFL football is going to be Tua Tagovailoa, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, you said it right, too.
I know. I actually spelled it. What do they call it? Where you spell it? What do you say?
Phonetically?
Phonetically. See, I don't understand even what phonetics are. So I tried it out and it worked.
Did you say frenetic?
Phonetically, yeah. So it looks like he's going to do well this season in Miami. So far, he is 16 for 23.
And
Sorry,
who's
the
his
last
mentor?
game.
Who's his mentor? Who's he been working out with for the last 2 weeks?
I don't know. You tell me.
Dan Marino.
Oh, has he?
He has.
See, I don't follow that news.
Dan Marino's been on the spot with him for the last 2 weeks, guiding him through everything.
One of the best he's ever played.
I mean, do you want like the greatest quarterback to never win a championship?
Right.
Victory?
Never going to win a Super Bowl.
But he can win a Super Bowl through Tua. See?
Right.
But Miami's not going to win a Super Bowl. So my nephew is a Miami fan, and I always rag on him. If you're listening, Sage, hey, sorry, brother.
Sorry, Sage.
Yep. 183 yards in the air and 1 carry for 8 yards on his own. So, anyone else have anything else on NFL football that you want to bring up?
I do.
What?
Okay, one of the.
This is completely random. We don't usually do this, but I'll let you do it.
Okay, so everybody remembers Andrew Luck from the Colts, right?
Yes.
And we all liked him. He was a good quarterback,
Good
right?
guy, yeah.
I'm not sure I qualify him as a great quarterback. He was a good quarterback.
Good enough.
He was a
So
great
in the last
quarterback at
couple of weeks,
Stanford,
he
yeah.
has been spotted practicing throwing the ball in Colorado on a high school field. Why would he be doing that?
Because his kid goes there?
Or
Altitude.
altitude's always good. He might possibly be someone who ends up on a team. We don't know. Everybody's speculating what's going on with Andrew Luck throwing passes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I throw passes sometimes.
What's the main speculation? He's going to be
He
a high
was doing
school.
it pretty serious.
He's going to be a high school football coach.
Well, that was the other thing I thought about, but no, he wasn't practicing with a bunch of high schoolers. He was practicing with big guys. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The other thing you need to be aware of is the COVID rules, okay? I don't know if you guys noticed this week, but everybody and their brother started getting fined or warned. 25 people were warned, 14 people were fined, $14,650 a piece for not wearing a mask.
Good Lord.
Did you hear what happened in the LA Rams Las Vegas Raiders game? Both punters on the Rams were out for COVID protocols.
Yeah.
And so they had to rely on their place kicker, and he had to punt 4 times in the game, and they lost by a point.
Just add to that, today I think Tennessee is down at least 9 players.
They're wondering how they're going to start the season. They may be the first.
Titans?
Yes, they may be the first team that's penalized and not being able to play the first game.
That's crazy.
And Jerry Jones said today, not getting the vaccine is a selfish choice. When I read that, I said, Jerry's already counting how many wins he's going to get by forfeit.
I'd like to just jump in. I wasn't here last week. I want to comment briefly on some assessments on where the Cleveland Browns were at last year.
You're getting way more technical than the last time we recorded this.
I believe 7 or 8 wins was the consensus. Actually, last year the Cleveland Browns went 11-5, won their first playoff game, and in the second playoff game against the AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs, a bad call probably prevented them from winning that game. So,
Are you sad?
I'm very sad. I'm very sad.
Are you a Browns fan?
I am not mad, and I am a little bit of a Browns fan.
Okay. Are they going to do well this season?
They will do well.
Okay, good.
Are they going to exceed the 11 wins?
They will exceed 11 wins this
Will
year.
they be
You
in the
heard it
Super Bowl?
first.
Are we doing that this week?
I don't know. Let's wait until next week.
All right, we'll wait till next week. I'm ready, but
As for the next step, then, let's move on to the next topic at hand, and we're going to say, of the top teams in college football, top teams, right? You have obviously Ohio State, Clemson, Florida Gators, Oklahoma. I threw Florida Gators in there.
I
as
did,
well.
yeah.
North Dakota State.
North Dakota State. Yeah, so you have the top 5 or 6 teams that you know
Yes, you
have
do.
a chance to get into the playoff, right?
Well, North Dakota State always wins the, Division II or Division
whatever.
Yeah, they're strong in D2.
Who is sneaking in to the playoff that no one's talking about right now, that no one is really mentioning right now? Who's sneaking into the playoff that just might happen? Who can get in? Chief, who do you think it can be that can get in other than Clemson, Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama,
I got to be
Texas,
honest,
Oklahoma?
I'm not sure. Maybe Texas A&M.
Okay.
But I need to see like week 1, week 2, and then I think we're going to have a much sharper picture of that field's going to be narrowed down dramatically.
Yeah. Ripper, who's it going to be?
all right, I've got 2 quick options for you, and I hate to say this first one, but
Don't say Notre
if
Dame.
Oregon can knock
Oh my
off
God, that's
the
so
Ohio State in week 2,
And Notre Dame.
that sets them up throughout the season.
Okay.
That's
No,
a
they have
huge
a
win.
they have a relatively easy schedule except
Right,
for Notre Dame.
right. Even if they were to lose to Notre Dame, that out of conference win against Ohio State, winning their conference, if they win 11, 12, and 1, that would be serious consideration for the playoff. And my second team is definitely a long shot, but they always have the talent. They just haven't been able to put it together. Maybe in year 1, Sarkisian can bring the Texas Longhorns through the Big 12, overcome Oklahoma, and that would be an outside shot to get into the college
the
football playoff.
Cyclones in the Big 12 championship or something?
Maybe.
Okay. Beth, who do you think who can sneak their happy booties in?
I agree
to the playoff?
I agree with Rivers' first part. I disagree with the second part. But the first part is what I immediately thought of when you asked that question.
But you don't think it's realistic, though, right?
Not really, but how exciting would that be?
Not very.
Would Ohio State get in if Oregon wins?
If we win the Big Ten, possibly.
Okay.
It would have to depend on everybody else.
Okay, gotcha. What you got there, Choppa?
So,
is Auburn going to do it?
thought about no, we could. No, with a new coach, we could. But I'm going to put them in the same category as A&M, only because I think the SEC West is such a tough gauntlet to go through that I don't see anybody other than Alabama making it there. Now, who I do see would be the winner of Florida, Georgia.
Winner of Florida, Georgia. Okay.
If that winner.
So I'm going with the winner of Florida, Georgia, and them winning the SEC. I probably give the nod more to Georgia, only because if Georgia can come out of the gates and beat Clemson, they're going to have a lot of momentum. And Georgia gets stronger as the season goes on. So if they can come out strong, they always finish strong. I'm going with Georgia. Although Florida could upset them, but I'm going with Georgia.
So, Georgia, that's not. Hold on, they're already in the top 4.
They're not in the top 4.
So just go with Florida. Oh, they are. That's right.
Top 4.
That's true. Okay. So I'm just giving you a heck. See, I don't even say hell on this show. Okay. Oh crap! I just did it. So anyway,
What on
earth? So even Mormons can listen to this show and be happy. See?
No, they can't because we're drinking.
We are drinking. We're guys at the bar drinking coffee, talking sports.
I kind of feel like you're singling out a certain group right now.
I'm sorry.
And we keep drinking coffee.
That's going to get BYU in the playoffs. What we're doing.
I know that's what's going to happen.
Right.
Okay, mine is going to be. So, if you win the ACC, championship and go undefeated, or maybe have one loss like Clemson might, you can probably get into the top 4, right? And North Carolina Tar Heels, Sam Howell's a junior.
He's good.
Last time he played Clemson in 2019, he was a freshman. They lost 21-20. Okay? Very similar
And it was
team
Mac
around
Brown's
them.
first year back.
Yeah. Very similar team is there right now. A relatively veteran offensive line, and they have a freaking easy schedule outside of Notre Dame, and they don't even play Clemson, So I'm thinking that if North Carolina can go undefeated, except maybe against Notre Dame, then they get they're going to be in the ACC championship, and they're going to play Clemson. Now that's going to be a headbang. That's going to be hard to do. But if they win, Sam Howell is the person that is looked at as the Heisman Trophy candidate right now, right?
I think if they win, then the SEC gets 2 teams in the Final Four.
And nobody from the ACC? I just can't see that happening. If Clemson goes...
SEC will get 2 teams in if North Carolina beats Clemson.
Unless North Carolina's undefeated.
If North Carolina's undefeated, but they can do it. My man, the Chief here, will attest to it.
Yeah, they could do it.
So I'm thinking it's possible.
I'm glad that Clemson and North Carolina aren't regular season play. I think it's better for the ACC.
I know I'm out on a limb with that one because no one thinks that's possible. My man Chopper here is about to look at me like I'm crazy, but
yeah, I think your outside shot was ranked 5th or something like that.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I'm going with
way to risk it for the biscuit on that one.
All right.
Hey, I'm just being realistic here.
last week we talked about everyone's way too early top fours as well, right? Everyone went through theirs. I actually looked at my LSU prediction. I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. I was just joking, y'all, so I take that back. But we did not get the Rippers top four.
All right, so
I made you think about this for 2 weeks now.
No, I mean,
So
I knew from 2 weeks ago.
You better have been studying this thing up.
No, I'm going with my heart on these four.
Whole 9 yards, I got it.
Who needs stats when you got heart? So, 4 teams, college football playoff predictions from the Ripper are Oklahoma, Georgia, Clemson, and the Ohio State University.
Go Alabama.
Oh, Georgia.
Everybody's going to be gunning for Alabama. I could see. I don't think Georgia's it, but I could see a couple of teams beating Alabama just because if you beat Alabama, that's like practically winning the SEC.
That's every season, and no one does it.
I can see Alabama as a 2-loss team, especially in the Iron Bowl, because that could be a toss-up. In the last 2 times that the Iron Bowl was played in Auburn, who won?
It's probably 1-1, I think.
Auburn won the last 2 times, 2017 and 2019. And this year it's in Auburn, right?
It is.
So I looked that up just so I would know for sure.
Statistics go with whoever's at home. Okay.
Apparently, I don't know.
Consider.
2015 they lost at home, and then 2013 they won at home.
Yeah.
So it's a toss-up in some way, but that game's always a toss-up.
2017, I think Auburn beat number 1 Georgia and number 1 Alabama back-to-back weeks, and then lost to Georgia in the SEC championship.
Is that the year South Carolina beat Georgia?
The year?
No, last year.
The year.
No, it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago it was
Last season, yeah. It's when South Carolina beat Georgia.
at Georgia.
At Georgia. And they're going back to Georgia this season, and they're going to get stomped.
That's what they said 2 years ago, too. So, I mean,
Yeah, that's true. But Carolina's a way worse team than they were then.
I do have to make a quick shout out. Guy at work goes by the name of Miami D. Wanted me to say he's a Miami fan, and he wanted me to go on the record
The U!
and say officially that on 4th September, Miami will shock the college football world and defeat Alabama. Now, that's not me. That's Miami D.
Well, Miami D can come in and defend himself on the show anytime he wants to, okay? I'm willing to allow people on the show to talk about their team.
We can have a call-in, right?
It could be a call-in. He can drive here if he wants to. I don't care.
Yeah.
He can even do smoke signals. I'll interpret them. I don't care.
barrier
U
pigeons.
signals. U signals.
Carrier pigeons, yeah. What do you got for me, you gotta do a good transition if you want me to talk about that.
Okay, so
Man, I got hit in the butt with a bat the other day, man, and man, it was rough.
well, good.
Did you like baseball?
Let's talk about it. Well, there were 2 games yesterday that were noteworthy, like truly noteworthy. So
Better be the Dodgers.
well, we'll get to that. The first one is the Orioles won after they ended a 19-game losing streak. Well, hold on. They beat the Angels, and they hit 2 home runs off of Ohtani, and they scored 6 runs between the 7th and the 8th innings to win 10-6.
So they ended their 19-game losing
But
streak.
get this. Okay, 2 of the best teams in baseball right now are the Angels and the New York Yankees. On August 2nd, Baltimore beat the Yankees. They go 19-game loss. Then they pretty much annihilated the Angels last night. So that was one big game. The second game of note, the Dodgers. So the
16 innings.
16 innings, Dodgers and Padres,
37 hours.
They played almost 2 games.
How many innings?
16.
Good Lord.
The game lasted 5 hours and 49 minutes. It officially ended at 12:59 a.m. Pacific time. For those of us on the East Coast,
I didn't stay up.
1 minute before 4 in the morning, the game finally
You
ended.
woke up for the end.
That's my team. I woke up to the news in the morning. I'm like, screw this.
Get this, 489 pitches 19 different pitchers. Yes,
Wow.
19 different
They went through
pitchers.
the whole roster.
35 base runners were stranded during the game. And finally, A.J. Pollock for the Dodgers hit a 2-run homer in the 16th, and they won 5-3.
Wow, that's impressive. Very impressive.
What a game.
Or underwhelming. Why couldn't you do that earlier?
So, who's in the playoff picture right now?
So in the AL, right now you've got the 2 wild card teams that are going to come out of the AL East. Leading the AL East would be Tampa Bay. I think they got 79 wins.
They're up by like 5 or 6
Yeah, then you got New York, who's won like 5 or 6 games in a row, followed by Boston. So they're
barely in it, though.
right. That's your wild card team. The other 2 teams.
And Boston lost last night.
Who would be the other 2 teams from the other 2 cups? I'm not sure about that. I do know in the NL, we're looking at the New York Giants. They've got the best record in baseball. They've got 80 wins right now.
Okay.
The New York who?
The New York Giants.
San Francisco Giants.
There you go.
My apologies.
But
I think they used to be
Sometimes those Dos Equis go to your head.
they've got
That's
82
the
wins,
problem.
but the Dodgers are right behind them at 80.
Right.
Yeah.
Right behind. I mean, that's a tough.
Well, and that's
division.
the rivalry. That is the big West Coast baseball rivalry.
Exactly.
Those guys getting fist fights with each other.
And kill each other, literally.
Fans kill each other out there.
Exactly.
So AL Central has the White Sox at the top and the Astros in the West.
All right, so it'd be the Astros, the White Sox, Tampa Bay,
But you're talking 74 wins,
Yankees,
75 wins.
and the Red
Yeah.
Sox.
And then the Red Sox, because the Red Sox are up 2 games against the Astros right now. And then in the, I don't have the West.
I have the West.
So
Okay,
I don't have the.
Atlanta Braves have 68 wins, and the Phillies 63 wins. They're at
Yeah.
the top of that division. Milwaukee is 78 wins, 70 wins for Cincinnati Reds. So,
Cincy's got the second
so
Milwaukee
Milwaukee
right now.
Brewers are number 1 right now. And then the Dodgers and the Giants are.
Yeah. So the Dodgers are in there in the wild card right
right
now.
now, Dodgers are.
And they're going to be the
Yeah,
wild
they're
card.
like 13 games up on the wild card.
They've got 80 wins. They're definitely
Yeah. Cincy, they might be able to hold off. I don't know.
So are the Red Sox going to be in the World Series then?
No.
That's the only thing
Oh, God,
I
no.
don't think so.
No, not at all.
Well, then I don't care about baseball.
I think the Yankees are probably trending in the right time right now.
Wake me up when you get back to football.
Yeah.
No.
But I do like baseball in the World Series. I follow it.
Yeah,
Just,
October's fun to watch.
and I follow it a little bit during the playoffs as well. But I mean,
The home run derby, I guess.
And when you get those 16-inning games and you get the 19-game losing streaks ended, that's no.
I think they may have won
newsworthy.
back-to-back, too. I think they won tonight. They were winning last time I checked.
so let's close this thing out with football then, really quick. Who's playing this weekend in NFL football? Because we already talked about college football, which the only decent game is Nebraska and Illinois.
So the matchups this weekend are interesting. I want to call them out. Indiana's playing Detroit. Indianapolis. I'm sorry. Indianapolis is playing Detroit. Indianapolis is 2-0. Detroit's 0-2. Again, it's preseason.
Doesn't matter.
But there's some telling. Pittsburgh's playing Carolina. Pittsburgh's 3-0 going in. Carolina's 0-2. Philadelphia's playing.
Roethlisberger is going to be doing okay, I think, right?
Yep.
The Eagles are playing the Jets.
Yes.
That's going to be fun.
That'll be fun to
And
watch.
the Eagles are 0-2, and the Jets are 2-0.
I'm sure my boy Zach Wilson's going to be fine against the Eagles. So.
And Jalen Hurts is going to be
Out.
Injured?
Yeah, I don't know. He might throw something.
And how about those Browns?
So we're going to see a little bit of our starters, I think. Probably the first quarter, if that.
Who are they playing this weekend? I didn't have them
Who
down
are
for the
they
weekend.
They're starting to cut people and change up rosters now and everything, right? So
Right, I think August 31st, the cuts go down to 53. So this is the last week to figure out who's going to be on your week 1
The
roster.
Browns are playing the Falcons.
The Falcons. So
Yeah. We get to watch that revolving door of quarterbacks.
pretty much.
Yeah.
yeah, the Falcons.
That's going to be fun.
So Minnesota is playing KC. Minnesota's 0-2. KC's 2-0. And then on Monday, Green Bay 0-2 against Buffalo 2-0. I just thought that was fascinating that these matchups are all undefeated versus winless. There's nobody is anything.
You know what's going to be a fun one? Is Cardinals and Saints. They're 1-1. Both of them are 1-1.
So, who's excited about college football, though?
Me.
Tailgating.
I am just.
Tailgating.
So next week's episode is going to be all about the next weekend's games, right?
Yep.
Some good ones.
There's some amazing games.
There's some amazing games.
Labor Day weekend.
So let's go ahead.
Right, the Gamecocks are starting off against Illinois. That's thrilling. Not at all.
So let's go
They
ahead.
grow corn in both those states, right?
Yeah.
Gamecocks play Illinois?
Yes.
They do, really?
They don't.
No, they don't.
Well, we're getting tickets to it.
The Gamecocks?
Pretty sure that's it. Yeah.
I think that it might be Central
Illinois State?
I think it's like Central. I don't know.
They're not playing the Fighting Illini.
No, they're not playing the Fighting Illini. It's actually really much a
Eastern Illinois. Sorry, Eastern Illinois.
I said that. Central.
Same thing. Eastern Illinois, same thing.
They're just
Probably
lucky to be.
across from St. Louis, Missouri or something.
Well, the Fireflies and the River Dogs are playing the same day. That might be more exciting.
I'm sure that will be the case.
The tailgating will be good.
The tailgating will be better
That's
at
what
the
I'm
stadium. Everyone's excited about college football, so let's go ahead and leave it at that, okay?
Yeah.
And this is Guys in the Bar Talking Sports, and we're out.
I know what you're thinking. Man, that was an amazing show. You know what you do then? You subscribe to the show. By subscribing, you'll be able to hear the show next week and every show that we come out with from here on out. And then if you really like the show, the thing that you can do is you give it a 5-star rating and review. Whatever podcast you listen to, see if you can give it a 5-star rating and review. I know you can do it on Apple iTunes. And then you know what you do? You come on back next week to hear Guys at the Bar Talking Sports.